perfect. However, we have here, it's kind of ugly right now, I gotta fix it, but you can kind of select your race and class. Those are backwards, I just noticed. That bothers me. So yeah, race and class, you can randomize it, so it'll go through and choose them for you. Once you do that, you hit finalize, and the stat screen will, or the initial stat screen will come up, and you can bump these up. Then you finalize it, and in here it will show you your stats, which that is incorrect. That should be 0. Your health, which I'll get to in a minute. How many points you have left, which I'll get to in a minute. I don't know why that says -1. Okay. But yeah. So now we need to do on-clicked for the negatives. Now we don't have any boosts for the negatives here. So what we're going to do is do this, do get strength. We're going to say if strength does not equal 0, this is a great project, but makes me think of making a character creator and adding Twitch API function for a chat-based game. That would be really interesting. Actually, one of the goals of this project is to eventually figure out how to, through widgets, be able to enter, like, accept user-created text, so that you'd be able to, like, create a name or something like that, and then you could eventually port that over to chat functionality, I'm sure. At that point, it's simply setting up network replication to make sure that everyone can see what you type. Okay. If this does not equal 0, then we are going to set strength, or set strength to strength -1. And we're going to set points left this is so ugly. Okay, we'll do this. Reroutes. Shit, I'm running out of time. Alright, I'm going to finish this before I go, but I do have to go soon, for real. I have to be up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, roll dice? That we do have. I have a function library here that we set up that goes through every conceivable configuration of dice up to D percentile. And you can input the number of dice you want to roll. It goes through a for loop based on that number, and then it will get a random integer between the numbers you specify. For this case, it's the 1d20. And it will set die roll to that random integer and produce the total. We will eventually be using, we actually are using it right now in this. Ignore this part. This is the initial, because in DND you always get max hit points the first level. But as the character's level, it goes in and will roll the D value for the class that you have, and add. So it gives you your D8 plus con modifier, gives that and adds your original hit points to it and sets your new hit point total. So that's already actually being used. Eventually, I'm going to have it set up to where different damage die are set up. And oh, excuse me, it's been a very long day. But I'm going to have a different damage die based on the type of weapon that you're using, and I'm going to have it roll a d20 to see if you succeed in your attacks when you strike with a weapon against an enemy's armor class. And so it's going to be like I'm seeing as literally as far as we can go with the D&D system before I have to stop and go, okay, we really need C++ here. Which I don't think I'm actually going to hit that wall because it's pretty much all math. And it's not so much functions. Right. So what we're doing here is on this button's click, if strength is not equal to 0, so you can technically, actually, yeah, if you really want to fuck yourself over, I suppose I'm just going to leave it for now, but there's this thing where you technically can't go lower than, I think it's 8 in 5th edition, or maybe a little bit lower. But we're going to just let it slide for now, and I can fix it later, if need be. Okay. But it basically runs through. Stop putting it down there. And goes, okay, so strength is not equal to 0. Cool. Then what we're going to do is subtract 1 from strength and give 1 2 points left. So it allows people to set their characters up the way they want to. There we go. And we're going to take that out, because if I don't, then it'll freak out again. Get dexterity. Then set dexterity. Okay. You know, it's funny. I haven't had it happen in here yet, but I've been waiting for that day when someone sees that there's a Twitch stream on game design, and they come in thinking it's going to be some holy crap-tastic, you know, everything's going to be amazing kind of thing, and then they see that it's actually a lot of repetitious behavior and just being really willing to stick your nose to the grindstone and learn a lot of things. And they're like, God, this is boring. Yeah, well, to me it's not, A. And B, what did you expect? Did you expect game design to be all playing video games all day long? Oh, sad day. Did you believe the Westwood College commercial? I I've tried. I honestly, it is very difficult for me to sit still long enough nowadays to just play games straight all day. I prefer working on them. I feel like it's so much more enjoyable to know that my product is being looked at as opposed to just playing everyone else's. I still play a lot of video games, don't get me wrong. Like, I just started Heroes of Might and Magic 6 yesterday, and all, and I've got Grand Theft Auto 5 on my Xbox. I just can't play them, like, all day. That's what I did on Thursday, because my maintenance guy was coming over. And I started playing, and yeah, because someone had to be here, so I was like, well, fine. If I'm gonna have to be here, I'm going to play games. And probably about 3 or 4 hours went by, and I was like, I am bored. I want to make something. I played around with my board game idea for a little bit yesterday too, but nothing major. Nothing that I'd be like, yeah, I totally did this right now. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and let's get this part done. That is a good way to look at it, TK. I might steal that. And honestly, it's really hard sometimes for me to look at games. I think Alex, my kind of my boss, not my boss, but like my boss's right hand man. He shows up in the stream a lot. But he said it really well. He was like, honestly, when I play games, what I see is I don't see, oh, that character is doing X. I see, oh, that integer value is increasing by 3, and that one is storing a vector to be used in this particle system. That's like League of Legends for me. The reason I like League so much is because being overly analytical like that is actually beneficial. So when I'm looking at it and going, oh, uh, this cooldown timer that is on a float value of X and blah 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 actually is beneficial. Okay, so should we have done this correctly? And I need to set up points left real quick. And yes, technically I could still use our little variable here. I'm doing this mostly out of comfort. I prefer to do this way, because it doesn't make any sense, and making sense is the antithesis of me. Okay, so